So basically, countries need to import and export goods, right? So that's import and that's export. In order to import something, so if you think about it, the Zimbabweans might need to import foodstuffs, so mealie meal, right? And the mealie meal that they import, they have to pay with in dollars or in rand or in the various things. So the Zimbabweans have decided to use a multiplicity of currencies in their economy. So now they have to import it. They're importing it from South Africa, they would need rands for that. So say they're importing from South Africa and they're importing mealies. That mealies is, say, 1,000 rand. It means that Zimbabweans need 1,000 rands in their own economy. So whoever is going to import it needs 1,000 rand. Now the biggest thing about Zimbabwe is that they've struggled to actually have currency because of some of the economic conditions existing in that country. So for them to have 1,000 rand has been quite a big thing, which is what they call a liquidity crunch. So that actually there isn't a lot of currency in that country because they're not exporting a lot. Usually countries that export are able then to use the same currency that they used to export to actually pay for their imports. Now, in terms of their exports, the story is relatively the same. The Zimbabweans say because they're great in farming, make potatoes. Right? And they want these potatoes to be exported to South Africa or any other country. Say that is also 1,000. Now, one of the biggest things they have, again, is this liquidity crunch problem. They don't have a lot of resources, they don't have a lot of currency or money. So the government has been able to say, look, in order to help our people to create this 1,000 rand, we are going to help them with some sort of incentive. And this is where the bond note comes in. So the government is saying to them, look, we want to be able to help people, we want to be able to create the kind of liquidity in the country for people to be able to actually export the various things that they need and to be able to import. In the export and the import enterprise, we're actually going to find a facility. Now they've gone and found $200 million. Not a lot of people know where the $200 million come from, but they found a facility for 200 million. And that 200 million is what then they are going to use to be able to issue these bond notes. And in issuing those bond notes, they've said they'll issue them in $2, I think, and many other, I think it might be even like a $10 one, and going forward. So what they need to do is to distribute this kind of, this facility into the various small amounts to people who are actually in the trade market. Some people have said this comes from the Exports and Import Bank. They haven't confirmed it, but it probably is where it comes from. So that to actually as an incentive and actually assistance to actually be able to participate in those markets, they'll do that. Now the interesting thing, of course, about Zimbabwe, as I said earlier, is that they use different currencies. Rand, dollars, I think they also use the Chinese yuan and the various things. So that these bonds are going to be the exact equivalent of dollars. So they're going to say, look, this thing that we are issuing with is actually equal to $1. So if we give you $2 of this bond, it's actually equal to $2, the American dollar system. This is what they're going to issue. And that's basically so the basic thing that we need to understand is that what we are trying to do here is to facilitate trade for ordinary Zimbabweans who are struggling to find currency in any other way to be able to do this. Now this is causing some panic because people don't no longer trust the system. They think, we've had the system before where the government prints money, where the government decided, well, if we don't have money, if we don't have currency, we're just going to go out and print it. So they decide in terms of, instead of actually going about the way of producing things, selling things, just going to print it. And that caused a lot of inflation and all sorts of economic havoc. This time around, because all money that's being printed has to have a base. So if you print money, you have to have a base. There was a time when they said that was gold. Now they're saying, well, there is a base and it's $200 million facility that we are going to use to do this. Now this facility is meant to grow over time because then as trade grows, imports and export grows, they should be able to actually be able to do that. And it's the beginning of some sort of a system of allowing money to flow into Zimbabwe to create circulation of funding to be able to actually finance economic activity in the country.